4 fingers, it's one of the most dangerous aspects that you can ever do if you're standing up on the pegs. When we're in a standing position, we need to be efficient with our grip and how we're moving on the bike. If we're using all 4 fingers, which when we're getting our license, especially in Australia, the context for 4 fingers on the brake is all about safety. I hear the 4-finger safety factor and all these extra elements, okay? But they're also talking about it being somewhat illegal to stand up on the foot pegs. In our environment, it's the other way around. We're teaching you how to be safe and efficient standing up on the pegs to have better access to the terrain. So 4 fingers means there's nothing holding on. If we're standing up and we've got all 4 fingers over our levers, we either need a very good strong thumb and excellent gloves, because there's nothing holding on. And if we're falling off the bike or losing control of it because we've got all 4 fingers there, you'll find we're missing out on some very important techniques. Clutch and front brake are the same. So often the lead in for newer riders is starting to go with 2 fingers. It means that we've still got these 2 fingers here that represent a lot of grip if you need it, but you can be very efficient and starting to use your grips, okay? I prefer, with our adventure bikes these days, we've got really good strong brakes, so I'll use 1 finger. And I use 1 finger on my clutch also. So 1 finger means that I have 3 fingers giving me stability across the grips and good strength, and it's like a trigger finger. You know, I've got great strength and efficient grip, and I'm still able to apply the front brake effectively and get really good value out of the feel I'm getting through those controls at the same time. Okay, it does take practice. While we're here talking about it, front brake. Who's ever hit the front brake and then heard the engine rev? Okay, this is something that novice riders do quite regularly because no one's taught them how to use their throttle and front brake together. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when this hand has 2 jobs to do, and the right foot has 1 job to do, our clutch finger has 1 job to do, left foot has 1 job to do with changing our gears, just these 2 things together, one's going, one's stopping. If we're not taught how to use that effectively, I've seen and had plenty of experience, especially when we're using all 4 fingers, where they're gripping, and what happens, if you look at my wrist here, if I just flex this muscle and grip, what happens to my wrist? It's going to rev. So the best way to use your front brake is, that's why the throttle only turns one way. Okay, we roll against it and onto the brake. Road riders, road racers, they're very, very experienced with it. If you see any of the MotoGP guys, they'll come into corners, they're off the throttle, and they've got a very good feel of it. So going off and then onto the brake, that's why this only rolls one way, so that we're making sure we're getting good technique. If we're not used to that, and we're applying the front brake and the throttle at the same time, that's where, if anyone's heard the engine starting to rev as you're going to an emergency brake, it's just because you're just grabbing a handful and going like this, not rolling off the throttle onto the brake. Okay, off and onto the brake. It's only going to go one way. Very good technique. This way is going to get very exciting indeed. And you can see it. If I start this up, a sec, because it stands down, it's in gear. Okay, if I start this up, you'll hear the difference. So, front brake, rolling off. Now, if I grip it with 4 fingers, now that's a little bit scary. If you're not used to it and you're just gripping, and wondering why the throttle's going, it's because of our wrist movement. Could be 2 fingers. That's what I'll see novice riders do that. You probably see all over YouTube people running off through fences and things. Everyone gets so enthusiastic about teaching you to get going on a motorbike that learning how to stop can sometimes be left out. So learning how to use your front brake effectively and efficiently removes any of these moving objects and problems.